My mom always imagined that when she was doing something, someone was watching her. She was very afraid. Well, I thought that mom was worth it until I was convinced of it myself. Mom went to work for a day, Dad was on a business trip. I came home from school as usual, did all my chores and sat down to watch TV. And so my eyes began to close. And suddenly a shadow passed in the corridor. She went to the kitchen first. I thought I was starting to fall asleep and I had glitches, but the shadow passed back. I was very scared, turned the TV up and wanted to go to bed, but I really wanted water. I had to go to the kitchen. I didn't turn off the TV because I was afraid. I came to the gym already with a mug of water, but the TV was turned off. I turned it on. A light bulb exploded here, even though the light was turned off. I realized that there was no light left. A window opened. I went to the balcony to close it. It was closed. What should I do? I started packing up to go to my friends. I packed my bag and was already dressed. She took the keys and the phone and turned the latch. The door won't open. I tried to open it with a key, but nothing came out. It's like she won't let me in. And now I'm at a dead end. I felt dizzy, I fell, lost consciousness, and I don't remember anything else. I ended up in the hospital, traumatic brain injury, multiple cuts all over the body. I still can't remember what happened to me. I will say right away that I do not suffer from hallucinations and other mental disorders. The other night, I woke up to a sound like a cat scratching the door. But I don't have any cat. At the same time, I saw almost nothing, my eyes literally stuck. This has never happened before. Tearing my eyes with my hands, I noticed a young woman of about 25 in the room. It was barely visible and seemed somehow translucent. Catching my surprised look, she pointed her index finger at the ceiling and disappeared, as if stepping right into my sideboard. I was very scared, jumped out of bed and ran to the kitchen. She turned on the light and grabbed a knife. I sat there for 20 minutes, not knowing what to expect. Soon someone started knocking on the door. I opened it. It turned out to be the neighbors from below, who said that I was flooding them. I replied that I had no leak. As a result, we went to the floor above. The door of the apartment directly above us was ajar. When we got there, we found a girl in the bathroom, and the water from the overflowing tub was pouring on the floor. We couldn't save her. Unlike my friends, I love winter. Snow underfoot, cold, chilling to the bone. There's something in all of this. And of course, I like to spend such days not somewhere, but in my house, which is located in the suburbs. No cars, no people, you are alone with nature and your thoughts. But he's a god, a mug of tea and thoughts. Thoughts, just thoughts. Sometimes ideas flow like Niagara Falls, and now was exactly this moment, until the electricity in the house was turned off. To be honest, fear in me is side by side with other feelings, which I am not shy about. Closing my laptop and taking my phone from the table, I turned on the flashlight app. Lighting my way, I reached the window. A wonderful view appeared before my eyes. The snow covering the ground, including numerous fir trees that grew near my house, is croup. It would be unforgivable not to snap this beauty, so, forgetting about turning off the lights, I headed outside. After leaving the house and taking about 10 photos on my mobile phone, I returned to the house. Unable to do anything about the darkness in which my home was spinning, I turned on my laptop. It's good that I still had enough charge to sit in it for at least an hour. I found a USB cord from my phone on the table and connected it to my laptop. Characteristically, the sound notified me that the device was successfully connected, and a folder with a million photos opened. Having found the right ones, I selected their frame and moved it to the desktop. It was already the first hour of the night, there was no thought of sleeping. My hand took turns opening photos taken recently on the street. At first glance, there was nothing special about the pictures. Looking through the photos, I saw my own home, no less my own car. I decided to lighten up because of the expression, as it was not very visible in the dark. In one of the photos, there was something near the entrance to the house. It wasn't a man, bigger in stature. A pig's snout was sitting on his neck. Holding my breath, I began to remember all the prayers I knew. When they were over, I started looking for an explanation of what is happening in my photos right now. The Joker put on a mask and decided to just scare people who walk at night? Maybe. I want to believe it, as well as the fact that I closed the front door behind me. The battery in the laptop is running out, and it seems that my ears hear some kind of knocking on the door. Huddled under the bed, I'm waiting for the worst. I'm waiting for this creature. I wait for it to enter the room and pull me out of my hiding place. It seems to me that now my heart will burst with fear, because it will not be better if it tears me to pieces alive. I'm scared. I've heard for a long time that some people sewed amulets in the form of dolls with their own hands. The dolls were without faces. Our ancestors believed that such a doll could not be possessed by an evil spirit, and it would not bring misfortune to the house. Last year, misfortune found me everywhere. The year turned out to be unsuccessful, especially summer, so at the end of June this year I sat down to needlework. The weather turned out to be cold, rainy, cool drops often flew into the open window, falling on the blanks for the amulet. The work went slowly, requiring accuracy. In the end, I sewed the doll's hair and straightened it. The talisman was ready. During the work, I mentally communicated with her, asking her to help me, protect me from troubles and adversities. And, as it turned out, the work was not in vain. A few days after making the amulet, my friends and I decided to go for a rest in nature. I took the doll with me. The place to rest was chosen by friends. We stopped at an old lake with a loud named Black Waters. There used to be a factory nearby, and waste was drained into the water. But the plant was closed, the water was cleaned, and the name remained. The place is wonderful. Clear water, pebbles, warm earth, and branches of a huge weeping willow hung over the water. We placed our camp under one of them. The guys were swimming and having fun in the water, but I didn't want to swim. You know, it's a strange feeling that something is wrong, as if you are not at ease. That was the feeling I had that day. I was sunbathing in the sun, I didn't want water at all. The sun froze, and I fell asleep. I slept for a long time, until the evening. I woke up already in the tent. I crept out quietly. Took a deep breath, fresh cool air. She opened her eyes and froze on the floor with a sigh. A real mermaid was sitting 2 meters away from me. Her hair fell down her back in a heavy wave, her tail lay in the water. She sits and looks at me. The face is not visible, the eyes only shine with emeralds in the dark. He stretches out his hand and beckons me to him. I walk as if enchanted, I pull my hands to her myself. I almost touched her, she just bumped into an invisible wall and I hear a quiet whisper. You should throw the doll away, otherwise I'll have to leave. Throw away this doll. It was then that the veil passed from my eyes. Sitting in front of me is not a mermaid at all, but an old woman with horns. He squeezes the fish in his hands, touches me with a bony hand and wants to drag me away with him. And the amulet burns my other hand, coals, as if I'm holding hot. The witch spat water and jumped into the bushes. And my voice came back to me. The guys came running to the cry, but not all of them. One was missing. He stayed near the campfire to sleep. We quickly packed up all the things and went to the police. The old woman in my dream now comes to me every day. He says he will come when I lose my amulet somewhere.